From VOA Learning English, this is the Health Report. It is sometimes said that humans eat with all of their senses. We see food before us, then our senses of smell, touch, and taste help us enjoy it. But can our sense of hearing affect how we eat? A new report says that it can. That comes from researchers at Brigham Young and Colorado State Universities in the United States. They found that hearing is an important sense in the eating experience. Hearing is often called the forgotten food sense, says Ryan Elder. Elder is an assistant professor of marketing at Brigham Young University's Marriott School of Management. For the study, the researchers wanted to test whether the sounds of eating had any effect on how much a person ate. During the experiments, the subjects wore headphones and listened to noise at either a high or a low level. Then researchers gave them a solid snack to eat. The study found that subjects who listened to the higher noise level ate more food than those listening to the lower noise level. Elder says that when hiding the sounds of your food, like when you watch TV or listen to loud music, it takes away the sense of hearing the food in your mouth. And this may cause you to eat more than you normally would. The researchers say that hearing the noises of your food as you eat could help you to be more mindful of the eating experience. This may help you enjoy it more. The researchers reported their findings in the Food Quality and Preference Journal. For VOA Learning English, I'm Lucia Malanig.
From VOA Learning English, this is the Technology Report. The area in Northern California, between San Francisco and San Jose, is known as Silicon Valley. Some of the world's most famous technology companies are based there. Apple and Facebook are two big ones. Along with these big established companies, there are many small companies trying to get started. These businesses are called startups. Some of the people behind startups are immigrants from countries like Sri Lanka and China. Ji Chuang and James Fong are Chinese Americans. They met at Cornell University in the state of New York. Together, they founded a startup company called Listia. Listia is an online marketplace where people can exchange used items for credit. Then they can use the credit to buy other items like collectible coins, video games, or cell phones. Listia has been in business since 2009 and has 9 million users. Poonsri Abewakrema is the founder of Cloud of Goods. He is from Sri Lanka. Cloud of Goods is an online business that connects local residents who have things to rent with tourists who need those things. He says his business is based on the fact that people often buy goods that they do not use all the time. When those goods are not being used, they can be rented to someone else. Neil Gorenflow is a business analyst for Shareable. It tracks what is called the sharing economy. He says starting online businesses can be difficult. It can take several years to learn how to be successful, he says. For VOA Learning English, I'm Dan Friedel.
From VOA Learning English, this is the Education Report. Education spending in the United States is different from school to school. In the southern state of Mississippi, a school in Brookhaven spends $6,417 a year per student. Just 100 kilometers west in Natchez, a school spends almost $3,000 more. Shannon Eubanks is head of the school in Brookhaven. He told VOA his students do not have a chance. Eubanks says less money means students in Brookhaven do not have a music or arts teacher. Students must share computers. They ride old buses that are not in good condition. The largest share of funding for schools comes from local taxes on property. Communities with lots of wealthy people collect more property taxes and, as a result, have more money to spend on schools. The opposite situation is found in poor communities. The newsletter Education Week researched funding levels for all 50 U.S. states. The differences are large. On average, New York, Alaska, and Wyoming spent more than $17,000 per student in 2013. California, Oklahoma, and Nevada spent about half that amount. The average for the U.S. as a whole is about $12,000 per student. For VOA Learning English, this is the last education report from Learning English TV. But we are not going away. We will continue to bring you videos to help you learn American English. Go to learningenglish.voanews.com to find new materials and to look for past Learning English TV reports. I'm Jonathan Evans. Thank you for watching and learning with VOA Learning English. From VOA Learning English, this is the Health Report. First responders are workers sent to fires, accidents, and other emergencies. First responders are usually firefighters and medical technicians. In Brooklyn, New York, more than 20 first responders are studying Mandarin Chinese for about 2 hours a week. The Chinese community is predicted to become New York's largest immigrant group in the next few years. The city is already home to the largest Chinese community outside of Asia. Some Chinese in New York do not speak English. This can be a problem in an emergency. Steve Lee is president of the fire department's Phoenix Society. He says that first responders must be able to communicate quickly and effectively during a response. They need to ask questions such as, "Where is the problem?" and "Is anyone hurt?" Now, they are learning to do so in Mandarin, China's most common language. Lily Chung is teaching Mandarin to the first responders. She says they have made good progress. Duran Ellis is among the students. He has been a medical technician for 14 years. Ellis says that Chung goes over each lesson with every student until the whole class understands it. The students already have used their language training. Jacob Dutton has been a firefighter for 10 years. Recently, he was called to investigate a possible gas leak. He said the people there spoke only Mandarin. Dutton says he was able to speak enough of the language to find the leak and explain to them how to fix it. For VOA Learning English, I'm Jonathan Evans. From VOA Learning English, this is the Technology Report. Santander is a port city on the northern coast of Spain on the Atlantic Ocean. It is also the home of a project started 7 years ago by the University of Cantabria. The project is to bring smart technology to Santander. A city is called smart when it uses technology to make life better for its citizens and visitors. Santander uses 20,000 sensors, or technology that measures motion and other things. The sensors are put on buildings, street posts, buses, and underground. They can point drivers to the nearest parking space. As one car drives away, a sensor says that a parking space is now free. The sensor sends a message to street signs and satellites. Using a smartphone app, drivers can find empty parking spaces more easily. Sensors also help in other ways. Trash is collected only when the containers are full. Signs at bus stops show exactly when the next bus will arrive. Public grass is watered only when soil gets dry. Luis Munoz is a researcher at the University of Cantabria. He meets with local citizens to talk about making their city even smarter. For example, the university helped a woman create an app that shows the easiest path for walking with a baby stroller. Another app shows the amount of home water usage. It is not all easy. It is difficult to let all citizens know about the technology and teach them how to use it. The Santander project is getting the attention of large cities looking for smart ways to fix city problems. For VOA Learning English, I'm Jonathan Evans.
From VOA Learning English, This is the health report. A new study says rich people will live up to 15 years longer than poor people in the United States. For example, a rich 40-year-old man can expect to live until about 87. A poor 40-year-old man can expect to live to 73. The Journal of the American Medical Association published the new study examining length of life and wages. It is called the Health Inequality Project. It studied about 1.4 billion tax records of wages from a 15-year period ending in 2014. The study examined more information than any studies of similar subjects in the past. The research has some new findings. It shows that where a person lives can also have an effect on the length of his or her life. Poor people living in extremely poor cities like Detroit, Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, and Gary, Indiana, are especially affected. Their life expectancy is shorter than poor people living in wealthier towns like San Francisco, California, and New York City. The researchers say poor people who live near rich people may be healthier because they see better examples of how to live. They also may be healthier because wealthier places usually have better public health services. The writers of the study say they know there are some problems with their research. For example, the study measures length of life starting at age 40. It does not include causes of death that affect younger people and children. The study's findings may not seem surprising, but the researchers say the possible relationship between wages and length of life remains poorly understood. For VOA Learning English, I'm Ann Ball.
From VOA Learning English, this is the Education Report. The World Bank recently said it will invest $2.5 billion over 5 years in new education projects. The projects are designed to help girls between the ages of 12 and 17. The bank says about 75% of these investments are expected to come from its program that serves the world's poorest countries. Most of those countries are in South Asia and Africa, south of the Sahara Desert. Those areas reportedly have the highest number of girls who do not attend school. The president of the World Bank Group, Jim Young Kim, announced the investment plans. He said one of the best ways to stop poverty passing from generation to generation is to empower and educate adolescent girls. He spoke in Washington, D.C. at the spring meetings of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The wife of United States President Barack Obama also spoke at the meeting. Michelle Obama said the investments in education will benefit millions of girls. The First Lady also said the World Bank effort will help increase the the number of women workers in each country. A World Bank study found that a woman's lifetime earnings increase by 18% for every year she attends school. The bank says its investments will support efforts to provide a good quality education in secondary school and financial assistance to teenage girls. The money will also help pay for clean drinking water and toilets in schools. The World Bank says almost 62 million girls around the world are not attending school. For VOA Learning English, I'm Carolyn Presutti. From VOA Learning English, this is the Technology Report. Mia Lei Tai is a scientist at the University of California, Irvine. She recently discovered a process that could result in batteries lasting forever. Tai spoke with VOA Learning English about her discovery. She said she was not happy with the lithium-ion batteries in her wireless devices. She said that over time, they lose their ability to fully charge. She said this is because the batteries use nanowires. The small wires are extremely thin. A human hair is 1,000 times thicker than a nanowire, for example. As a result, nanowires break easily, but they are also effective carriers of electricity. Tai had a theory. Nanowires might last longer if covered. She and her team at Irvine experimented with many coverings. They found success with PMMA, a hard, clear plastic material. The nanowires covered with PMMA cycled through charges 28 times more than uncovered nanowires. The PMMA covered wires showed no evidence of damage after 200,000 cycles. The results suggest that batteries with covered nanowires might last forever. For VOA Learning English, this is the last technology report for Learning English TV. But we are not going away. We will continue to bring you videos to help you learn American English. Go to learningenglish.voanews.com to find new materials and to look for past Learning English TV reports. I'm Carolyn Presutti. Thank you for watching and learning with VOA Learning English. From VOA Learning English, this is the Health Report. The United Nations says Asian children are facing health problems caused by poor nutrition. The United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF, and the World Health Organization produced the report. It finds some children are overweight, while others in the same country suffer from starvation. The report focuses on countries across Southeast Asia, including Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Thailand. The report finds that in most countries, there are equal amounts of overweight and starving children. For example, in Indonesia, 12% of children are overweight, the same number as those who are starving. In Thailand, it says 7% of children are starving and 11% are overweight. Southeast Asia is seen as a key economic driver for the world economy. But with economic growth comes an increase in foods and sugary drinks with low nutritional value. The report says this has caused an increase in obesity and heart disease in children. Starvation is still an issue in most countries in the region. The report says this is caused by poverty, poor nutrition, and a lack of clean water. Dorothy Foote is a nutrition expert at UNICEF. She says the lack of healthy food for children and the general population is causing a health crisis. The report calls on governments to invest in childhood nutrition policies. They say this will bring a better future for their citizens. For VOA Learning English, I'm Carolyn Presutti.
From VOA Learning English, this is the Technology Report. A new report says businesses around the world are not keeping up with new and tricky methods of computer crime. The international technology company Cisco Systems released the report. It said businesses are trying to prevent computer system security breaks using old technology and policies. The report describes big mistakes businesses have made in trying to stop computer attacks. Cisco examined 115,000 devices. It says almost all of them had security weaknesses in their software. Jason Brevnick is a top engineer at Cisco Systems. He told VOA that computer criminals will attack systems owned by a company or an individual. He said criminals will work together to target a computer system and steal information. Brevnick said companies are starting to guard their computer systems continuously. This helps them identify and quickly answer attacks. He said many companies do not discover attacks until 100 days or more after they happen. However, Brevnick said new programs are able to identify attacks within hours. Tara Sinclair is with the jobs listing website Indeed.com. She says computer attacks have caused a large increase in the need for computer security experts. The company Symantec is the largest seller of security software in the world. It says the number of people needed for computer security jobs will grow to 1.5 million by 2019. Cisco's Jason Brevnick told VOA that Universities are training students for the growing computer security market. For VOA Learning English, I'm Ann Ball.